Cheers, everybody. Graham from the Homebrew Network here, presenting you with some Orval Trappist Ale. It is a pale ale that some people might get confused. It's a straight up pale ale. That's all it is. And the monks were nice enough to bottle condition this with some Brettanomyces, which we all know is what's used in lambics to give you that funk. Now, the reason why I said people get confused is they think that this is a lambic because there's Brett in it. That's not the case. This is purely a pale ale. What they will say is that these will age nicely, and that's pretty true for most Trappist ales because of the way that they brew their beer, and they just take their time with their beers when they make them. They really put everything into it. So this particular beer, Orval, has a backstory to it. There is a fish on the label there. It's behind the V, and the fish is holding a ring. Now, the story goes that there was a princess or some widow. There's different stories floating around. The story is that this lady was sitting by a spring or a lake or a fountain, and she dropped her wedding ring. Couldn't find it. And so she prayed that her wedding ring would be found. And a fish came out of whatever water it was in, lake, pond, spring, fountain. I don't know why a fish would be in a fountain, unless it was a fountain inside of a pond. I don't know, whatever. So the fish came out and was holding the ring, and the lady was just all so awestruck. The lady said, "That's it. I prayed in this spot. This is where a monastery will be," and that is where a Trappist monastery was built. And that is where they make Orval. So that's where the Orval story came from. Inside the monastery, there's actually a stained glass window where it depicts the story. And this beer inspired Goose Island to make their Matilda, because the lady's name was Matilda. So anyways, that's the backstory. I'm going to refer to the website real quick for some information. They mash in at 149 Fahrenheit or 65 degrees Celsius for you metric people. Let's see. After filtering, this wort is transferred into the boiling vessel, where it is sterilized and flavored with hops of German and Slovenian origin. An amber-colored wort is obtained in 1 hour. During this operation, the water vapors formed by the boiling are condensed on a heat exchanger, and the energy thus recovered is stored in a 35... I don't know what that is. It's a cistern of some sort. That is stored as hot water at 99 degrees Celsius, 210 degrees Fahrenheit. It is used as fuel, thereby reducing greenhouse gas effects. So the evaporation that is collected from the boil is then saved and used for other stuff. How awesome is that? The monks are so smart. The wort is cooled after the boil, and then that is when they add liquid sugar candy before putting the wort into the fermentation tank. So the wort is cooled, and then they add the candy to it. Typical Belgians. So they ferment it for 4 to 5 days, then they put it into a centrifuge and filter out. The centrifuge helps get rid of all the dead yeast and hops that they don't want to have stuck in there. Then they put it into secondary fermentation, where they add more hops. And pretty much by the time it's bottled and leaves the facility, it's already been 2 months. So there's a little history about the beer and how they break it down so easy. Young beer is characterized by a bouquet of fresh hops with a fruity note and pronounced bitterness, light on the palate, and less firm collar than a beer of 6 months. The latter features a bouquet consisting of a blend of fragrances of yeast and old-fashioned hops. The bitterness is more diffuse, and the taste has moved to a slight touch of acidity accompanying the yeast and caramel flavors. This particular bottle was bottled on August 30th, 2012. The guy at the store told me that they are required by law to put on the bottle when it's best by, and it's a maximum of 5 years that they're allowed to put on there, which makes it August 30th, 2017. However, it is well known that people will age these well after that. I am, however, going to drink it young. So we got an alcohol by volume of 6.9%. I do not know the IBUs on this. However, I can tell you that they used Hallertau and Slovenian Golding and Strissel Spalt, probably Spalter. I don't know. Sounds about right. So there's the breakdown of the beer. Belgian bottle. My first Trappist ale. I am looking forward to this. Wow. There is some heavy carbonation going on here. I don't know if you heard that. I hope you did. Ooh, it smells good. That smell is interesting. I don't know if that's because of the Brett that conditioned the bottle with. Might be. It might be just because of the CO2 that's given off. Alright, well, let's go for the pour. High on the carbonation. Gotta go very gentle with this guy. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Head. Wow. The smell is amazing. It's got a little bit of a funk on the nose, even though it's a pale ale. Well, it does have a little bit of that funk, probably because they used the Brett. Trying to get some more beer. Beer. Must get more beer. Okay. I'm going to have to deal with that because every time I put it in, the head just keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So we are getting a nice copper color for this. Crystal clear. Crystal clear copper color. Crystal clear. The head is a nice white, creamy white. Looks very fluffy. Okay, the head's starting to go down. Head tastes very bitter. Very bitter. Okay, so we get rid of this head a little bit. Go away, I want more beer. Alright. Looks like I'm just going to have to suck it up and try to get some beer out of here. that's different. That's different for me. You know, I've had a lot of pale ales, American. Never had a Belgian pale ale, let alone Trappist. My first Trappist ale. And this is interesting. It's very heavy on the hops, the bittering aspect of it, very bitter. So they are right. The website says here that the young will have a very pronounced bitterness and fruity note to it. And they are so right. The body of the beer is very light and dry. Very dry. Probably because of the sugars that they add in prior to it going into the fermenter. Very dry. Yeah, it doesn't really leave much hanging around in your mouth except for the bitterness and the hops. You definitely get a hint of flowers actually in there. Maybe more of a fruity, flowery. Might be the hops. Spicy. There is a hint of fruitiness to it, but my gosh, this is a very dry beer. I'm enjoying it actually. But the aroma is just so unique. So the head is still there. The body of the beer is amazing. The head is amazing. The flavor is just across the boards. I don't get so much of the malt. I get more of a dry, fruity, spicy, hoppy, bitter, very bitter. It's nothing like I've ever had before. It's quite unique. I would say I've had some Belgian style beers before, and I've never been a big fan of them. The only Belgian style I've ever been fond of is the Belgian sour, the Flanders. That's nice. This, if I were trying to promote someone to drink a Belgian style ale and they didn't like sours, I would definitely say this one. And this is probably why Goose Island used this as the they probably use this as a way of dunking people's feet into the pool of Belgian pale ales, I guess, because this is really good. I rate the beer 5 for this. I'm not very accustomed to Belgian pale ales, but from what I've read, this is amazing. So go ahead and try yourself one. I might as well follow this up with a Matilda sometime, just to get a side-by-side comparison. Maybe open up one of these and open up a Matilda. Who knows? It's been a day of awesome beer. What a way to end the day of beer drinking than an awesome beer like this one. So I'm going to finish this, enjoy it. I might even let my wife try it. She'll probably hate it because she dislikes really hoppy stuff and bitter stuff. But this way she could actually say she drank Trappist ale made by the monks. So I've taken up enough of your time. Go do some fun stuff. But hey, before you do other stuff, check out the Homebrew Network on Facebook. And if you want, you could also go to the website, www.thehomebrewnetwork.com. Recipes, you name it, other videos for reviews. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, because subscribe to my channel, because I'll be doing more beer reviews of other beers, and I've got other videos of home brewing stuff, building stuff for brewing beer, you name it. I've got it going on, and I'm going to bring it to you. So have a wonderful night. It's Saturday night. Cheers.